name is Utile. Welcome to Beachside Tech Talk. This is 1340 AM, home of Schoolhouse Radio. And it is good to be here with my two sons, my brother Dan here in the studio. Also here with Nigel and Ted coming in from the East Coast and San Francisco. Ted, you're over at the Presidio in San Francisco.
Yep.
And, our ancestor, the four of us here in the studio, our ancestor, Lieutenant Moraga, he founded the Presidio. So how is great-grandpa's thing evolved over time? You go there on Wednesdays, is that right? Or you have a podcast there? What do you do?
I have a
over there?
podcast from the studio here at the House of Web3. I mean, I tell you, there's certain sectors of San Francisco you drive through and it's heartbreaking because of the, just the homelessness and the addiction. I tell you, not the Presidio. It's idyllic. It's a very inspirational. It's like, okay, this is what San Francisco was intended to be, and this is how human beings should be living together. It's beautiful. So I'm always inspired when I come here. Right out the window, we can see the Golden Gate Bridge, just a wonder of engineering, and I love it.
Well, not only is it beautiful, Ted, you're looking beautiful today as well.
I knew
Thank
it.
you.
I
Nice
said that in my head.
There you go.
I've got a little question.
Go for it.
Thinking about the Golden Gate Bridge, it's such a large thing that humans decided they wanted to make so that people could get across a large body of water. And I'm wondering what other really large projects you guys know of that are happening in the world right now that are soon going to be either completed or something that's really big and impactful for the world that's happening right now. It's being built.
The 2 AI structural facilities.
Yeah, those are huge.
That's the game changer. That's when we're going to figure out what it starts costing for starting to use these free AIs that we think they're so free. Because, they're going to just cost a lot of money. That what we're doing right now, I have no idea, and scalability of what that energy is costing us to load all that data and have the outputs come through. But those things have to be figured out monetarily. It's going to continue to, someone's footing the bill right now and it's not being talked about. And then that bill is going to continue to increase as we continue to use it, get better with it, ask it to do more. So there's going to be something that comes along. I keep saying it's either going to be advertisement or they're going to throttle you back to where you have to have a paid subscription, but that's what makes sense.
Good morning, Kenny. How are you?
Good.
Today's all about business and finance and the impact that AI, blockchain, automation in general is making on business and finance. Last time you were here, you were telling us that you're looking at starting a company. You're asking AI questions on how to build a social media empire. So any update for the party people that are listening in?
Yeah, so basically what's happening is on my social media platforms, which I did everything correctly according to my YouTube video, that didn't really work out. So kind of stopped doing that. And now me and my friend have a plan B, or I guess I already told everybody about this plan, but the car detailing. So I have a plan, which I haven't told him yet, but that I just came up with today, actually, about me doing the car detailing, knocking on doors, but also having a social media channel where he videos me cleaning the car, knocking on the door, asking for the prices, teaching kids online how they can do what I'm doing.
It is interesting that there is a market just to teach people how to do things as much, if not more, than the market to actually do those things. Yeah. So what Kenny's saying is, I'm thinking of starting a car detailing business. So I'm asking AI, like, how do I do it? What type of homes should we knock on doors? What type of products should we buy? And so AI is kind of helping Kenny with this. And Kenny last time also said that he'd be willing to take cryptocurrency. So now all of a sudden, Kenny and his other 12-year-old buddy, Ryan, they're going to maybe start a car detailing business. And if you want to pay him in USDC, USDT, Bitcoin, Ethereum, something that's, considered quote unquote legit as a currency, that they take it. So here's a young 12-year-old that's integrating cryptocurrency in payments and integrating AI and trying to figure out the business. Now, the new idea that has expanded is, well, what if not only do we have a car detailing business, but what if we can make more money from social media by just showing other 12-year-olds how to do this? And so isn't that an interesting concept? I mean, how many real estate people make more money real estate training than actually being a broker?
Yeah.
That seems to be the go-to path now as you look in all socials, that there's so much coaching and so many classes and things, and whatever that is being coached or the class, it can be making paper airplanes. It doesn't matter what the subject matter is, but it does make you pause for a second to realize that the people who are putting these things in front of us and putting them forward, that there's quite a large dollar value that's inside of that, as they make a how-to video or a how-to course or a master plan or something, and sell it, directly that way, instead of having to use the funnel marketing and all of the.
That's exactly where I got the idea from, because I can make the money from the car detailing business, and I can also make money from the social media.
Yeah.
So income.
It's interesting how frequently some new thing, like, for example, social media, it's not been around for too long, but it's been around for a while. And at first it's like, okay, people are trying to figure it out. How do you make money off of this? How do you build your audience? Like, plenty of people my age are like, oh, okay. I mean, I like scrolling on social media. I'll try it out. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, there's a bunch of people who've posted a bunch of videos, and they have plenty of things that they are telling me their own little tips. But the thing is, you look at the views, and there's 700,000 views, 7 million views. And if you think that 0.01% of people are going to do anything, and that's a pretty low amount of the people that watch that video. Now you take 700,000, 0.1%, that's just like what, 70 or 700 people? That's still a lot of people. And if a few of them succeed, then now you have all these people who are doing the exact same thing that you think you're supposed to do. And now there's just so much volume. There's so many people posting things on social media. And so it gets tough to make yourself different, to make yourself stand out. And I think that with AI being here now, it's going to be a lot easier for people my age, or maybe parents who are trying to help their kid find a job. Anybody in that sector, I think you guys can just use AI to find something you love and make it work, make it be something you can make money from.
Exactly.
It is amazing all the ways that money can be made. Today, our topic is business and finance. On Mondays, we've been covering community and philanthropy. Tuesdays, education and apprenticeship. Wednesdays, business and finance. On Thursdays, we transition over to news and media. And then on Fridays, we do art and entertainment.
Well, you can also do Fridays. How about fun?
Just fun Friday?
Just fun.
The thing is, every
time.
day is fun time.
Sure.
Every day is fun time.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give us a little bit of a focus so that we can provide an easy bouncing board for us to have conversations around. You know, all of us on this are quite familiar with the impact of AI and blockchain today. We're quite familiar with where things are going, at least are in hope of where things could go. Teddy, what's your thought? AI, blockchain, and the impact upon business and finance today. How are you seeing this play out in the city? You're there at the Presidio, you're around a bunch of startups, a bunch of businesses, some very established AI and crypto businesses. You're also around a lot of nonprofits that run their business and their finance using these tools. So what's your take, my friend?
Yeah, for the community leader, like maybe a pastor or someone who's really passionate about social impact, one of the trends, I mean, there's smart people here working on smart money, and basically gamifying social impact, gamifying, outcomes we want. Like one of the guests of my podcast, the Innovate podcast that I'm going to interview later today, is formerly incarcerated guy who also had a tech background and was part of a startup. And, coming from his own journey of how hard it was, to come out of jail and then to reintegrate back into society, he's creating an app called Dignify that essentially gamifies that process. That's really, really exciting for me. That when we figure out how to gamify positive outcomes that we want, how to take care of the community, and then adding a monetary reward to that is a very simple step. That's very exciting. That means we can scale social impact and do good better, do more good.
That's awesome to hear. I love getting to hear things like that something that can be so tough, like trying to reintegrate yourself into society, are now these new technologies and things like gamifying it can make it almost like it's a game. That's what gamification is. And it's just fun to hear that there's so many different applications to all the new different technologies or ways of life that people have invented in today's society.
How many days in a row, Malakye, have you done Duolingo? What's your streak right now?
Yeah, I think I was telling you about this earlier. I'm around like 440 something. So it's been almost a year and a half now. And I think they have mastered their gamification. They've made it something that is, I saw something the other day that was talking about how something called A and B testing, where you have an audience, but you don't show them all the same. Like for YouTube, for example, you can do A and B testing for a thumbnail, where you don't show everybody the same thumbnail. You can try 2 different thumbnails and test them out. And some people see this one, some people see this one. And then based off of the stats you get from each one separated. And then you find out, okay, well, this one performed better, so I'll make this the permanent thumbnail. And Duolingo basically did this, but for like 10,000 different tests, not just one thumbnail test. They did it for thousands. And so after seeing all the minute little details of what made people like this more, what made people like this more, oh, was a blue button better than a red button? Like the smallest possible details. They took these, they made it better, slowly got all the things perfect. And now it's to the point where it's easy to like just sit there for hours and learn Spanish. Because when you gamify something, it makes it really fun to do it, even if it's something like learning.
Yesterday, we talked about apprenticeship and education, and Duolingo is known for having a new model of education. And part of their new model of education is building a profitable business, that their business and finances dialed in. Mm-hmm. They're using AI to do this, and they put a lot of weight on gamification. So for those that are listening, whether it's on the live stream that we're across all the 5 social media channels, or they're listening here live on 1340 AM, home of Schoolhouse Radio at KOMY, explain gamification in a simple way. What does gamification do for you? So one thing you're chasing is, 500 days in a row. So that's a thing that's like a game for you, right? Another thing you're chasing is like achieving another badge, like that you've accomplished going from beginner to intermediate to mastery, or there's these different things that you're trying to chase. And so it gets you back on the app again. For them, they win by saying, oh, look, we have this much average time is what our users are doing. So we are a valuable app because people use us, they keep coming back every day. And then the benefit for you is it motivates you to you can actually understand Spanish, you can speak Spanish, you can read and write Spanish. And so now all of a sudden you're bilingual because of the school classes you've taken and mastering, that skill through Duolingo to a certain extent. So help folks understand gamification from a business perspective. Why should businesses gamify? And how do you see gamification hidden in different elements of automation technology?
Yeah, you're hitting it quite right on the spot. I think gamification is something that is going to be so common in the future, and it's already so common. It's something that, like you're saying, you take something that, like learning a new language, that can seem kind of daunting and like, oh, that's work. I don't want to do that. But then it's like, okay, well, if you do this for a few more days, then you get a badge. Or if you do this for 30 more days, then you can get this free like item that lets you skip a day. So now it's fine if you go camping. Like there's an example. Now it's gamified because if I do this, then I get my reward. And that's just on top of the base thing that I'm actually doing it for, which is learning a language. And that's just one of the examples of gamification, where you take something that can seem tedious and you turn it into a game by giving it some new reward system that someone now wants to do because they get something for doing something. And this is probably going to be something that's so vitally taught in every single business that is interacting with consumers. Like, as much as Amazon tells you that you have to sell products, I think it's going to be said that you have to gamify, because that's just how important it's going to be. And I kind of want to pass the ball to Nigel, because I feel like you're going to have something really great to say about this and how it relates to the kind of white collar sector.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I think that the example I'm going through right now, because technology, as it does sometimes, doesn't always work. I think that sometimes we are presented with data that suggests that there's only one way to do something, and that way to be successful. And that absolutely is not the case. Gamification is great. I think it's helpful, but we've been getting along fine just without gamification, just by our human interaction. And I'm going to give you a real life story. Like when I was younger, my dad took me on one trip that he took me away with, because we didn't have a lot. And he just took us away, and we met. I was probably 8, 9, maybe. And me and my younger brother met another kid. He was from Germany, and he spoke no English, like none. And we definitely didn't speak German, but we played together every day during our 10-day stay there, and we figured out how to communicate. That was what was available to us in the setting that we felt comfortable with the young people, being in that same group. We were young, and we wanted to play, and we figured out words and we learned. I think technology is advancing so fast with things like headphones that will automatically translate words for you. So I think the benefit of doing that is, as you continue to hear and listen to a language being translated to you, you pick up the words. It's kind of like typing. I've never was formally taught to type, but working on computers so long, one day I realized, I'm not looking at the keyboard anymore. I'm not finger pecking anymore. I just kind of figured it out. And I think that's where we go. I think the idea is that we start to lean into the value of the things we providing, and let that be the gamification. I am constantly providing value. I am constantly doing better. I'm constantly looking for new ways to improve upon what was done, and point out things that, not just point them out, the things that can be do better, but also offer suggestions on how to do it. And that's going to come from everywhere. It's going to come from young people, older people, and it's being open to all of those ideas, and using AI and technology to extract those ideas and really turn it into something that's constructive and helpful, and harmonize it all together into something beautiful.
Gamification can be such a broad term. Like, it can refer to, like, the story that you were just saying about you met your German friend, and it wasn't even like you were addressing that it was something that in a way is gamified. Gamified is just making a new reward system that's on top of something else that you're trying to do. You wanted to learn how to communicate with him.
Making boring things exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
Is really what it does.
I think people my age, when they are in like their 30s or older than now, it's going to be something that's so common that not the word is ever going to really be said, gamification, but it's just going to be like, they made a new reward system.
Humans are really driven toward reward. And we're very driven toward doing what we want to do. There has to be some sort of motivation that causes us to want to do something. And so I remember when we launched KOMY, which is a software company that I co-founded back in, I think, 2010, that became quite successful and still is, a big success today. I think we're the top software in the entire auto repair industry still today. And when we started doing that, one of the things that we realized was, if we could just do anything that made the service writers, those that actually write the business, when somebody comes in for oil change or tires or engine repair, if we could do anything that motivates the service riders, even just like confetti on the screen, like complete a task, like anything that makes their dopamine, serotonin, endorphins fire off, that was a benefit to the business. And we were right. We were right about that. It really made a big impact. As people think about like, how do I use automation for AI, AI automation, crypto automation for my business, for our finances, for our operations administration around, the element of kind of running our organization. We should be thinking about how do we do things that are fun. This is one of the things that's so powerful about text to image. It's like so many businesses have kind of boring, lame design. It's like maybe their logo's okay, but the banners and the posters in their building are kind of like so cookie cutter and like not real, certainly not local. And whatever it is, and then all of a sudden that organization starts using AI tools. And now they make new posters and new flyers and new banners and new logos. And everybody thinks to themselves like, who did you get in here? Like, how much money did you spend on the rebrand? And the guy goes, no, I just asked my nephew if he could just fool around when he was over hanging out with the dog this weekend. And he made me a logo and he made me a new flyer template. And so this is like a very practical way that AI is playing into a wonderful opportunity for businesses. Kenny, when you think about launching a car detail business at 12 years old with your buddy Ryan, have you guys built a logo? What have you guys? I know you send me pictures of cars all the time. You send me like a golden Lamborghini that you made. And so talk a bit about how you use AI to make images and how you use that in your new venture.
Well, so we haven't really started anything yet. So that's not really a thing for us because we're still talking about how we're going to do it. Most likely we're going to go to his neighborhood and we're going to find places for asking to do the car detailing with maybe multiple cars in a garage to pick through many if they want us to do two. It could become more profit. But yeah, the AI for making a profile picture for social media is a really good way to do that. I already have used AI to make my profile pictures. I've used Canva to make my the social media that I was just doing that didn't work out very well. I used that to make my YouTube and TikTok channel on the profile picture. And also I've made other ones with ChatGPT. Like I have this one where it's like a picture of like a kid, not an actual picture. It's just like in an art illustration basically. And it says like 12-year-old kid hustler. And I can go on like Mid-Journey and make that into like a little animation where it makes like the money go everywhere or something like that. And yeah, that also helps. But another thing I want to talk about is making games with AI. Yeah, but I guess we'll talk about that next time. We have to wrap up.
We are about there at our commercial break. Thank you for joining us here at Beachside Tech Talk. We'll be back again in just a moment. All right. You should be able to hear me now, Internet. I switched off the radio audio onto my computer audio. Nigel and Ted. Nigel, you keep getting kicked out, my friend. Technology's not working out perfectly right now.
It happens. It happens. But I hope everybody heard me on Opal. That seemed to be coming in okay.
We heard you just fine on Opal. And you'll be here. You'll be here on Saturday, dude. We only got a couple more of these, you calling in from the East Coast, and then you'll be with us here in the studio for a couple weeks.
Yes. I will.
So that'd be great.
I will.
And Teddy, any thoughts from you that you want to share with the?
Yeah. So we're gonna get this going.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
I'm very much looking forward
to the conversation on gamification. You know, we respond to incentives. And I think gamification is just, I mean, it's a term of something, a new term of something we've been doing forever, basically. Anyone who wants to motivate someone, you either pay them or you figure some other way to motivate them to do something. In general, now particularly, I think you've always had to do both, like people who are only motivated by one thing, it's hard to sustain. But if you get your passion and it's economically viable, so, I'm games and I love basketball. So, and I think the internet has gamified, like social media has gamified things like engagement, and we don't even know it. Like it's manipulating us and, rushing us with dopamine. That's what TikTok discovered. And now everyone else, not discovered, they unlocked it to a whole nother level. Everyone else is imitating that, the whole dopamine rush, how to get you addicted. So I'm glad, if we can put that on the table and reverse engineer the positive outcomes we want, that's what I'm excited about, rather than just negative addiction that doesn't do you good. So you're fighting technology rather than the technology serving you.
You're leaning in, Nigel. Talk to us, my friend.
I'm excited about the metrics. And I think that the more we start seeing the connection between what we're doing on social in particular or online correlated with some sort of number and what that output or expenditure of energy is, I think the better and more constructively we'll use it. Because at that point, it ceases to become just, I spent 10 hours and you just get comfortable with that. It becomes something a little bit more real, tangible that you can measure against and do some stuff with, statistically anyway.
Any other thoughts, Teddy, before we go? We got about 30 seconds before we jump back on the air.
Any other thoughts? I love the fact that Kenton is planning his next big business venture. I love the fact that he's planning it with his friend. That's a form of gamification. If you do it with a friend, it's a lot funner and it's more sustainable. So you know what they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
They do say that. They do say that. That's what I said. There's no I in team. They say rising tide raises all shit.
You know what? When Shaq said that to Kobe, you know what Kobe responded? He says, but there is an I in win, MRFer.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Beachside Tech Talk. My name is Ian Utile. I'm here with Ted in San Francisco, Nigel over in Florida. We got my brother Dan and my two sons, 2 of 3, because Nathan's at junior guards right now in Capitola. We got 12-year-old Kenton and 6-year-old Malakye. We are talking about the future vision of what could be when it comes to the impact of AI and blockchain and automation technology in general around the industries of business and finance. And what I like to do for our second segment of our 1-hour daily program is I really like to try to stretch the vision, like a rubber band. You stretch a rubber band that's never quite as tight as it used to be, or whatever thing that comes to your mind. And we want to stretch our vision. We want our vision to be stretched every time we're jumping on here. We want to try to come up with new, more exciting things that we want to see humanity manifest. Humans have a tendency to create what they think is possible. First, there has to be a vision. Before you have a movie, you first have to have a screenplay, right? And then you have to have kind of these elements of, okay, this part of the screenplay will look like this. Right, everything is a vision. You cast a story and then you do a layout, and then finally you go and you film it. And there's no film that will ever be made. There's no TV show that we made. There's no video game to play without first having a vision of what could be. And in the same regard, if we want to see businesses and people and organizations, their finances, their operations administration benefit from AI and crypto in the furthest imagination, then we have to kind of say, okay, how good can this get? How helpful can this become? So who wants to jump in and share something that's inspiring? I want to be inspired.
I think Kenton really had the bug earlier about wanted to talk about the AI impact on games, which is something that I was just thinking all about. And I think it's going to be so fun because I think everybody in their life has had that moment where they're like, oh, this game is so fun. Oh, I love playing this. Whether you were a kid or whether you got older and you just kept playing the same game. Whatever it is, a lot of us have played games at some point in our life. And it was something that was fun because it was gamified and it was fun to play it. We had dopamine or whatever it was. And I think that in the future, with AI making things so much easier, like I just saw as I was scrolling recently that you can have these like really quick too. You can write like a prompt for a minute and a half of just like what you think you want your game to look like. And AI will make an image and then you just turn that into a little video. And then you throw that into an AI and you make it come up with a game idea for it. And like, you can just keep going and keep going. And that's where a term called vibe coding came out, where it's just like, you just kind of run with the vibe and just see where it brings you, because AI is this new way to harness the knowledge that humanity has made. And I'm just so excited that it's going to be so easy to make these kinds of things.
The thing that I wanted to talk about right before the break was how you can make games with AI, which he was just talking about. But what I used to do like about a year ago, or maybe not even, is I used to go on my grandpa's computer, or now basically my computer, and I used to go on this website called Replit, and I used to put any game idea I want inside of the prompt, I don't know what to call it, prompt bar thing. And I would type in my idea and I'd press enter and it would make the whole entire game. Not just the code, the entire game, and I could play it right there. Or I could just make a website. One time I used to like play Roblox all the time. And I asked it to make a Roblox coding generator. So I would go and I ask it. It took me quite a long time to make, but I asked it to make me a Roblox coding generator for making games. And I went on the AI website and I typed it in and I pressed enter and it made the whole thing. And then I realized that I need to actually use OpenAI to put actual AI into this. So I started going for weeks and weeks building this website on making Roblox code generator. And I started making it. I got an OpenAI key thing and I put it into the game and it started working and it made some codes and I used it in Roblox and it worked. And I actually made my first website, which was crazy. So you can actually make real websites just by the click of some keys on a keyboard and the enter button, and it'll make a whole game or website for you.
How do you guys think this is going to impact business and finance, the way that it's now so easy to make things like games, for example?
Subscriptions, maybe. I think if you have subscriptions in your websites, you can make money off of subscriptions. I mean, that's what I would do if I went full time on a website like that.
When I was 17 years old, I sold my first website for $316,000 to a semiconductor company. And now, today, Kenny can make a better website than I made just by telling a ChatGPT or Grok or Claude or whatever he's deciding to use. Look at this semiconductor website, make one just like this. When I was your guys' age and, Genesis Sonic comes out or Nintendo's Mario comes out, it's like that was the game for years. It took years and years before the next Sonic 2, Mario 2, or the next Mike Tyson boxing was wow, now we have a boxing game on Nintendo. So now we're in a position where a young person can say, I really like this game, but it sure would be cool if this game had these colors. I really like this game, but it sure would be nice if this game was swords instead of guns. I like this game a lot, but I really think it'd be awesome if this game had, independent AI that was also farming, whatever it is. And now it's just vibe coding this idea, and all of a sudden you spin up a independent game, an independent website. So yes, that's going to change things for a lot of people that basically are in the business of working for companies to make these things.
It's easy to make your own business now, to start something yourself.
Well, it certainly can be. It certainly can be. I think that when you talk about a vision of what could be, where could things go, I asked ChatGPT, give me a rallying cry of what could happen in this century. And it said, from AI CFO bots this month to centuries from now, AI governed, crowd owned enterprises, finance becoming fully autonomous, fully accessible, and accountable by design. There's a lot there. Like that's like if a preacher takes one Bible verse and takes a whole hour to explain it to the congregation. There's a lot there, right? That whole idea of today we are looking at AI CFOs, but when we think about our great-great-grandkids, they're going to be looking at things that are governed by AI, but are owned by the people that actually use it, and that it will be fully autonomous, fully accessible, fully accountable, all by design. This is the type of thing that can make people very excited about where business can go, because change is hard. And if you're a big organization, you're one of these $1 trillion behemoths, or you're even just an up and coming organization that's worth 8-9 figures on a market cap. You're publicly traded, or you have value based on people investing in your company. And you think about all this change happening with all these automation tools, you think, I don't know, I mean, can it wait? All this automation wait 10 years? Like, I like my program. I'm good with what I'm doing. I don't really want to make all these changes. But if you can get a great enough vision, if you can get a vision that inspires you enough, then potentially it makes it worth going through some of the challenging things that we talk about of what could be. Ted and Nigel, I see you guys both leaning in. So talk at the same time.
We talk at the same time, it's going to be hard to hear us.
Exactly.
Okay, then Nigel, you go.
I'm excited about gamifying democracy so that we can get involved a lot more. And the people that are affected by the policies will have a direct voice in them. And that will unlock so much abundance. Like, we waste a lot of money as government. We spend... it's ridiculous. Like San Francisco spends so much to serve the homeless, and we're not solving the problem. It's getting worse and worse. And the abundance that could be released if we implemented right policies and solved the problems. That's just one that I'm talking about. The same with the reentry population. Or human trafficking. I'm excited when we eliminate human trafficking because we have an economic model that's better.
What are your thoughts, Nigel? Nigel's deep in thought.
I'm thinking that we have a great opportunity for real accountability to happen, and it's the no excuse kind. When I see things out in the, can you? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can. Keep going.
Yeah. So what I'm finding now is we have a great opportunity for extreme accountability if we want to take it. When I look out into the world and I see things that can be quantified or measured by AI and are not, but I hear the same complaints about why it's not working, I find that curious, because now you have the greatest opportunity to access all of these things. So when we have something, so great happen, we have the opportunity to look at, okay, what were the predecessors to this item? Can we do better? And how? Like, again, it's always that, to me, it always comes back to that same adage of, if you're going to present a problem, present a potential solution. Anybody can complain, but not everybody can come up with an idea on how to solve it. And we have the technology, the ability to process the data that we now have to do those things. I mean, people have millions of comments on a particular issue that clearly is a problem. You can analyze that sentiment. You can take out the key pieces and address them, or raise them to people in authority to make that more tangible, more reachable, more accessible. Just like Ken was talking about building a game, making things more accessible for him to build a game. Why is this so complicated? It should be easy. His ideas should be easily able to flourish. That's how we can support that effort. So we can get to making $10,000, $20,000 a month if that's the case. That's something like that.
I like that insight. I asked Grok, hey, what could happen in the next decade? It gave me something that is so custom to me. It's hilarious the way it said this. It said, I imagine decentralized finance evolving into inheritable smart contracts. It will empower generations to steward wealth with AI-guided ethics, and it will turn businesses into noble, savage kingdom of abundance and grace. Like, that's the type of silly stuff I say all the time, except I mean it. It's not silly to me. But the point is, take away all of the unique wording I use, like noble, savage, and kingdom of abundance and grace, and just take the core thing it's saying, what could happen in a decade. That decentralized finance, so this is finance on distributed ledgers, can evolve into inheritable smart contracts. What this means is that anything that I'm creating, anything that Dan is creating, my children, his daughter, his grandson could basically inherit this through a smart contract. And it empowers not just our kids, but maybe our kids' kids. And it does it in a way where the AI-guided ethics is already baked in. So the matriarch, patriarch decides on what is the ethical use of this thing that's being stewarded by the family, and then the AI ensures that happens. And so that's a very exciting idea, that ability for that to happen. One that ChatGPT gave me for a decade out is trustless agentic finance teams. So this means trustless. It means that with blockchain, you don't have to trust anything. It's already trustworthy because it's immutable, can't be changed, and it's transparent. And so therefore it's trustworthy. You can see what's there.
Yeah.
It says enterprises integrate agentic AI. Agentic AI is AI agents that create other AI agents. So you spin up a job for an AI agent. The AI agent says, it sure would be nice if I had 2 more to help me. Now all of a sudden there's 3. Well, those 2 new ones say it'd be nice if we had 4, each of us. And all of a sudden, right, there's 11. So this is agentic AI, growing AI systems. It will autonomously handle forecasting, compliance, and treasury management. I don't care how good a CFO is, or a chief of operations, or a CEO that is actually managing the business. Humans don't want to be responsible for forecasting, compliance, and treasury management, which is why they have teams that can take the responsibility if something goes wrong. So the ability for an AI system to autonomously do this is quite exciting for anybody in operations, anybody that's in business and finance. Dan, any thoughts on some of these things that we're talking about, future vision of what could be? Anything come into your mind, or any cool things that you imagine could be in the business finance world?
Yeah, being us in the salad bowl, I see the agriculture world blowing up for us. It's great to be part of that. I always think of us as the salad bowl. We are a giant organic eating community. it's unfortunate that I hope they do find solutions to maybe incentivize farmers to keep the cost of organic products down. I mean,
Gamification.
it seems so expensive to, and what you would think, you put a seed in the ground and kind of just leave it and just watch it, make sure it doesn't die. It doesn't make sense that it would be, 4 times as much as a standard item in a grocery store. But as far as automation, I see worldly productions, things like that, helping people. Automation and robotics in surgery is a huge thing. I know that Dad had a back surgery a year ago, and they actually used the pinpoint automation of laser robotics to actually, because it was such a small area inside of his back that they were actually working on, that they used not just a robot, but an alignment tool and a camera they were all working in sync to make that surgery happen very quickly, in under an hour. So technology helping humans like that is another thing. So I think you can pick any subject and find that there's a positive direction from technology, as long as the people who are governing it and who are running it have the right idea. If they have the right basically helping attitude, it's a benevolence and giving world. So before you take, maybe give first, and it'll work out better.
Go ahead, Kimmy.
So I have a question for anyone who wants to answer. How do you think I can make more money? Or no, that's not what I was gonna say. I was meant to say,
It's okay to say
how
that.
do you
Go ahead.
think I'm gonna get monetized quicker on YouTube or not just YouTube, any social media that I'm using quicker with AI?
I imagine AI would have a better answer than us. I mean, none of us have monetized YouTube. I've made lots of videos. Ted's made lots of videos. Some of our videos have had some good traction, but we've never monetized. So that's not something that any of us here are experts in. Maybe somebody in the comments would want to post a comment in that regard. Our show's going to wrap up in about 90 seconds. Ted, any final thoughts on your vision for the future of business and finance before we say goodbye to our friends?
Well, for the person who's interested in making social impact, now's the time to take these tools and leverage them to solve the most important problems. We can find ways to fund and sustain doing good, and that's what I'm excited about. And I think you should be excited about.
Awesome. Nigel, say goodbye to our, leave a wonderful, thoughtful comment. I felt that.
I felt that.
I know.
Too.
I did. I felt that. That was.
It was so
coming.
quick
Me
that
too.
we didn't hear it.
It's very powerful.
He's having a technical issues. That's all right.
Rattled
We
my
are
soul.
coming to the end. The music's going to roll in just a moment. Thank you for joining us here at the home of Schoolhouse Radio. We're here at 1340 a.m. KOMY, and we're back again for Beachside Tech Talk tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, talking about news and media. Have a great day, everybody.